a spiritual path can really help us just be more centered, more peaceful, more focused.
You're listening to the Spiritual Shitshow podcast with Suzanne Soul, episode 84. Hello, all you amazing ones, and welcome to the Spiritual Shitshow podcast, where we get into the madcap adventure the healing and spiritual awakening journey can be. I'm your host, Suzanne Soul, comedian, lifelong spiritual student, and I'm sharing the treasures I've learned along my journey that have helped me and that I hope help you too. This is part 3 of my convo with the wonderful Rev Aimee Daniels, Spiritual Director of Cityside Center for Spiritual Living in Chicago, teacher, minister, leadership coach, and passionate advocate for practical spirituality in everyday life. Through her ministry, work, and teaching, she helps people explore spirituality in ways that are grounded, empowering, and deeply relevant to their lives. And let me tell you something, I was getting all kinds of teachings in our conversation, so she's the real deal. In part 3 of my convo with Rev Aimee, we talk about the mission and community at Cityside Center for Spiritual Living in Chicago, the foundations of New Thought teaching, healing generational trauma, and the importance of bringing more kindness and compassion into this world. And as a special treat, Rev Aimee closes our conversation with a gorgeous prayer for our planet. But first, I'm going to share a clip of Rev Aimee speaking at Cityside Center for Spiritual Living in Chicago so you can take in her amazeballs spiritual wisdom.
I was with one of my friends this week. I hadn't seen her in a while, and she had a falling out with her brother over something in business, and they were forced together when her mom was at the end of her life. And she said, she walks into the hospital and he's standing there. And she was just like, everything in her was just so like, oh, right? And she noticed after a while, they were there all day at the hospital with her mom. She noticed she had this terrible headache. And she said, I just got to go lay down. I have this terrible headache. And, she did some clearing stuff and she did some prayer. And then she realized that even though their relationship wasn't healed, she didn't have to be so resistant, right? She could just be more neutral. And she said her headache went away immediately. Isn't that interesting? Because our body holds whatever is going on with us, right? Headache, I think Louise Hay said headaches are resistant. But we can all probably relate to that, right? Does anyone have anyone in their life that triggers them? Okay, every hand should be up here, right? But there are some people that we encounter where that we are just a little like, no, thank you, right? But spiritually, it's our job to notice and shift. It doesn't mean we have to accept bad behavior. It doesn't mean we have to, have that person be our best friend. But like something inside of us, when we don't honor our spirit, it knows. If I'm not being my better self, I get this like icky feeling, right? In the middle, I was kind of like, oh, yeah, right? So our invitation is to live in the Come Teach Me tribe. That's what we do together. That's what we do in our practice. That's what we do in our practice together, whether it's in a class, whether it's a prayer partner, whatever you're doing, that's what we do together. We're in the Come Teach Me tribe. Ernest Holmes said, he's the founder of Centers for Spiritual Living, the one life is not solitary by nature. It moves toward itself. Love is not something God has, and you can use another word if you don't like the word God. It's what God is expressing through us toward one another. So think about that. Your own longing for community and belonging, I think we all have that, right? We want to know we belong. And when you feel isolated, that ache you feel inside of yourself when you're feeling isolated or you feel like you're not being seen, right? You wonder if you belong. That's not really weakness. That's just your spirit saying, hey, come back, right? Come back. There's something you need right now. Ernest would say it's the infinite recognizing itself as you. So you were not made to be complete alone. And that's what we all have to share with each other. Lots of people are feeling isolated right now. And the way we live and work in the world today can really add to it. right? So it's important for us to realize that we grow through our interactions with others. Some of them are bumpy, some of them are lovely, but we're growing, right? We're growing. Howard Thurman said there's something, and Paul read to us from this, there's something in every one of you that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It's the only true guide you will ever have. And he goes on to say, if I hear the sound of the genuine in me, and if you hear the sound of the genuine in you, it's possible for us to truly meet each other. And when that happens, I begin to see myself as you see me, and you begin to see yourself as I see you, which is a beautiful gift, isn't it? You know, sometimes we don't see ourselves. That's a beautiful gift when you can give that to someone else. Like, I see you as someone offering this gift right now, because I think a lot of times we don't see our gifts. Other people see them, we don't see them. I know about you. I think it's true. So, mm, and what happens when we see each other, right? The walls that separate us dissolve because we're singing the same song of the divine. It just is showing up in a different, expression. And isn't that beautiful? Because we all have different things to offer. It's wonderful. We need other people to reflect back to us too. And community, this community, other communities, maybe it's your family, whatever community you're part of, isn't the backdrop to your becoming. It's what calls your becoming forth.
Amazing, right? Now, here's my conversation with Rev Aimee Daniels. I don't know, what you're saying is really speaking to me because, I've always kind of I pray. I always feel like when someone's praying for me, like you're saying, that elevates me. But
Right.
like you're saying, when I'm praying for myself, it feels like I'm like all of a sudden like separated. And I'm, like,
Hmm.
trying to talk to, like, now it's the sky god.
Right.
Whenever that's been
It
my,
feels separate, right.
yeah,
And
it's
I think there's probably times like one thing you could try
uh,
is meditate first.
yeah,
Right,
that's,
because
yeah, that's good.
you get into a different space, so then
Yeah,
you're in a different space when you start
yeah,
the prayer, right?
yeah,
You've calmed your whatever, you've gotten connected,
yeah.
and then you're more free to
I love
pray.
that. But I
But I
love what, like, the way you were just saying it, like, I don't know, it struck me in a way I've never heard it, which was more like having this conversation with spirit. I don't know, something you said just really struck me for
Yeah.
the first time around prayer. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, think about
Yeah.
it, if we say, that God works, God in as in through me,
Yeah.
right? It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
And we're bringing the
the
conversation into that connection experience.
right,
That's how I just heard it when you said
right,
it, which
right.
is huge.
Right. Well,
Thank
and the
you.
other thing I want to say is, Jesus said, where two or more are gathered, there in the
Yes.
midst go I. And of course,
Yes.
people took it literally, like, but
Yeah.
I think he was referring to this spirit, this, I and my father are
Oh.
one, and there in the midst go I, right? Like,
Oh.
and so it's so powerful also to
Yeah.
practice with other people, whether you're meditating or you're praying, because I think then the energy, I don't know, the energy magnifies when there's more than one person. That's been my
Yes.
experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I just want to get into, you are the spiritual leader for Cityside Center of Spiritual Living in Chicago.
Correct.
Please tell us about Cityside.
Great. Well, we are a Centers for Spiritual Living community. We didn't start out that way. We became that.
Oh, is that right?
We were sort of more unaffiliated when we
Okay.
started, and then we made the decision to affiliate. I don't know how
Hmm.
long ago, 5, 6 years ago.
Hmm.
And we basically are a community. I would say we serve 60 to 100 people a week,
Uh-huh.
both in person and online. Sunday mornings are our big thing. And I know some people think Sundays are going away, but I think people like to be together.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I reject that idea,
Yeah, I
and
know. No, I think you can reject it.
yeah,
I
and
know, I do. I think people still want that.
people still wanna be
I do.
together, they wanna have an
Yeah.
uplifting, experience,
Yeah.
they wanna have a chance to connect to
Yeah,
people,
we
we
need
all
community. We need
right.
community. Yeah.
And then we also offer some things during the week. We've only had our very own space for about 14 or 15 months.
Mm.
And so, kind of the last 15 months, we've been doing things during the week too, just like when you came and did your
Yes, did my show,
did your
Spiritual Awakening
show.
Comedy Cabaret. That was
It
so
was
kind of you
awesome.
to host my
It
show.
was fun. It was
Thank
good
you.
too.
Thank you.
And so we host stuff during the week, which is not quite as, I would say, not quite as conventional. We're doing some stuff during the week, like, um, the nonviolent communication. We have one of our Wednesdays is that we,
What is that about? Can you give me a
it's
little?
really about finding ways to communicate better with people. It's a practice that is a more peaceful way to communicate.
So it sounds more like the emotional or psychological stance you're taking is nonviolent. It's not
Yeah,
about
and
not
it's
being
it's
physical.
right. Well, and it's also about, how do you speak to other people? How do you
Yeah.
bring up things that are you're not
Right.
comfortable with? But we also have a couple partnerships with Soul Gym and Flowering Heart Center, and they
Yes.
offer things on Wednesdays that are more meditative. And
Hmm.
the one thing that we recently started that I'm super excited about is New Thought is based on healing principles.
Hmm.
It really came out of the teachings. It actually came out of Christian Science
Hmm.
originally, but there was a woman named Emma Curtis Hopkins who
Hmm.
ironically taught in Chicago. She taught 12,000 people, and
Wow.
one of her last students was Ernest Holmes.
That's right.
And so a lot of people early in New Thought had physical healings. And
Hmm.
so now we're doing a healing service the
Oh,
first
wow.
Sunday or first, excuse me, first Wednesday of the month that is really just to get more related to these healing
I love
practices. I
that.
think as conventional medicine has become, sort of glorified, like people have forgotten that, this teaching started with healing. Right.
Yeah.
And so that service is focused on that. And we also offer classes and other workshops. So it's really pretty cool. And, you know, just looking at how we evolve for the future.
Yeah. And what is your goal? What is your vision? What are you hoping to impart on people who are coming to Cityside and the community and everything?
Well, we say our mission is to create safe spaces for people to explore their spirituality.
I love
So,
that.
not really dictating to people what that is, but of course, we have a new thought basis. And I
Mm,
would say, the way I personally look at it is, we want to impact as many people as we can
mm,
to understand, their true spiritual nature, to support people in the things that they're going through in their lives. Like we have
mhm.
a grief
Oh,
ministry
that's great.
and, things like that. Just because, in the world of form, it's not the easiest place right now. There's just a
Right now,
lot
it's
going
tough.
on. There's a lot
Yeah.
of separation. So
Yeah.
we're really working to bring practical spirituality to people. Like wherever you are, there's a way that, our community and New Thought can support you.
And
And I
you
don't know
want,
what that means about how big we get or whatever.
yes.
Oh, we're just allowing it to emerge.
Yeah. And like, what's like, we want you to know that you are, like, what you're really wanting to share?
Yeah, so we're wanting you to know that who you really are is a spiritual being. You're just
Mm,
having a human experience, and
yeah.
that if you um, practice spiritually and incorporate these principles in your life, you're going to have a better life. You're going to be happier. You're going to be more aligned with yourself.
Mm,
Hopefully, you're going to, I think that we're not all the same, right? This is the
yeah.
beauty of it. There's diversity in
Yeah.
terms of how, you know, the universe, God made all of
Yeah.
us, and we bring different gifts and talents. So I think
Mm,
part of this is helping people really get comfortable with who they are,
yeah.
right? And that is more than your experience in the world of form. And so to
Yeah.
me, that is the gift I hope that we are offering to people.
What do you think that people gain in, just living their lives if they are tuned in to their spiritual nature? Like, what can it bring to someone's experience of living?
I think the first thing that comes into my mind is just to be more at peace,
Mm,
right?
because
Because I think we can all just live our lives like totally focused on the wrong things, trying to live up to someone else's expectations,
Right.
not really accepting ourselves,
Yeah.
right? And just kind of being yanked around by going what's going on in the world. And I think like a spiritual path can really help us just be more centered, more peaceful, more focused. And, if you think about the world right now, I want to be for something. I don't want to be against anything. And I'm not
Yes.
saying I agree with
Yes. No, no, I understand. Yeah.
I'm not saying I look at the world, I look at our country, I have lots
Yeah.
of opinions, but like
Yes.
for me to bring in more peace in the world, I
Right.
need to be that. And I need
Yeah.
to, I'd like to see us all create a bridge, like so that
Yes.
even though we have differences, right?
Yeah.
We're all part of this oneness, even people we don't agree with.
Yes. Yes. And that's a beautiful idea, that beyond people's predilections and frustrations and fears, that at the end of the day, we are all spiritual essence
Right.
having this physical experience and divided by our skin.
Exactly. And so, like, if I could influence anything in the world, it would be bringing more love and kindness and acceptance in. It's
Mhm.
like, just be nice. It's not that hard, right?
Right.
But, I think somehow we lost sight of that,
Yeah.
and I think just bring us all, but I think when we're centered in that sense of peace within ourselves, like, then we can build a bridge. Then we can, you know, love and care for people around us. And then, even think about the all the things that are happening to the immigrants in our country
Yes. Yeah.
right now.
It's
It's like,
awful.
there is just a lot of love that's being called for right now. And I don't
Yes.
know what the bigger spiritual picture is here. I
Yeah.
believe there is one
Yes.
here. I think we're going to get through this, but it's like, I think if I could just say, let's open the heart of America, wouldn't that be cool?
Yes. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. I think what you're saying is so important and powerful because, when I look at just in my own experience of family and friends and people that I know down the generations, is that there's been this cultural education of looking outside
Totally.
for why I'm not happy. It's her fault, his fault, their fault, this guy, and also looking outside for my good.
Right.
And so it's so important, I think, what I'm hearing is kind of like your vision and your mission in your own ministry, to bring that awareness and to introduce people to the idea that
Mhm.
they are whole, perfect, and complete and fully sourced
Already.
already.
Right. And you're reminding me of the 4 kingdoms of consciousness
Yeah.
which Michael Beckwith teaches. And the first
Yes.
kingdom of consciousness is victim consciousness,
Right.
which is really where our country's living right
Yes.
now,
Yes.
right? Things are happening to me,
Yes.
right? And for us to feel more empowered in our life and to make a shift, we need to break that consciousness because even in our society, we're in that. I think I said this in my talk,
Mm.
victim, villain, hero. Like we just keep running the loop,
Yes.
the
Yes.
victim becomes, you know,
And I also think that's why people who are abusive or, perpetrators of harm, they're doing it because they feel like they need to affect like get back at another person or handle another person to quell their own fears.
right. Well, and if you think about it, when we're not, when we're in the drama, let's call it the drama triangle, victim,
Yes.
villain, hero,
Yeah.
then, there's a part of us that needs to be healed,
Yeah.
right? And, um, you think about people, I mean, it's just really astonishing how many people in this country have been abused, by the way,
Mhm. Oh yeah.
right? It's shocking,
Yeah, it
when
is.
you
It's
hear about
unfortunate.
it, of
Yeah.
any kind.
Yeah.
But, um, to try to recognize that the perpetrators of these things, they are not connected to their spiritual
That's right.
self,
That's right. That's right. That's yeah.
and, if they were, they would stop.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. They would stop trying to like satisfy their pain or their anger or get their power back
Right.
by harming
Right.
someone
They're
else.
disconnected from their source, right? So
Right.
like that's the power of the
That
spiritual path. And
like there's
anyone can change.
Yeah, and there's like I relate so much to what you're saying because in the last few years of my life, you know, as we grow and evolve as human beings as well as in our spiritual path and everything, I just so understand that now. Like, wow, I was like a what the Buddhists say, hungry ghost to so
Oh,
many people, you know, begging for love, to be seen, to be noticed, to be, told that I had value or worth. And, just recognizing that maybe someone's in a bad mood and they
right. And
don't
it's
have it.
not about you. It's
It's
got
not about
nothing to
you.
do with you. I know. I relate to the hungry ghost. I think I was a hungry ghost.
Yeah.
And nobody becomes a hungry ghost on purpose.
No, no, of course. No, but like what I'm speaking to about what I love that is feels like what you're sharing that you really want to impart uh is because it's generational generation of teaching us to be hungry ghosts and not recognizing the most important parts of how we are growing with each other and parenting and everything,
One of the things Colin Tipping talks about is like, whatever, if you heal whatever's happening right now, you also are healing the past. And I know there's
Mm,
some traditions where they say something like everyone who heals it heals 7 generations before or something like that.
yeah.
And I think that that's the hopeful thing, right?
Mhm.
Like even if I'm just healing what's happening now, I don't have to continue to constantly excavate my past,
Right.
right? Like let me just deal with what's happening right now. Let me call in some healing, do my work,
Yeah.
get some prayer, and my experience will shift.
And it is a ripple
It is
too
a
in the
ripple because
moment.
when you
Yeah.
shift, other people
You
shift.
shift the whole thing. If you were to say what your um vocation or your message or your mission as a minister,
Yeah.
like what would you say like this is what I want my work to be about?
So I want my work to be about helping people be more conscious.
Mm.
And when I say that, I mean spiritually conscious, just to be specific,
Yes.
to understand their spiritual nature. And I want to help cultivate community that is doing the work of spiritual consciousness together.
I love that and creating community. Would you and close us out with a prayer?
Oh, sure. Anything you want me to put in this prayer?
Yeah, let's pray for raising the consciousness of the planet.
Okay, we can definitely do that.
Okay.
Okay, let's just turn within and just let's take a big deep breath together, just breathing in and breathing out, and just bringing our awareness into this moment, this now moment. And in this moment, I know the presence of God. I know this presence, which is never an absence, this presence which contains everything that is love and abundance and grace, divine awareness, divine connection, divine intention itself. And I know that I'm one with this divine loving energy of God, this infinite life that is expressing in as in through me. And as I know this for myself, I know this for Suzanne and anyone else hearing my words. And actually, we'll just throw the whole world in there. I know that we are all one with this divine presence that is expressing in as in through us, this love itself, this grace itself, this peace itself, this joy itself, this goodness itself, this infinite source. So, from this place of oneness, I just speak my word, just knowing that the consciousness of the world is being raised up. I know that as we each individually cultivate our spiritual awareness, that we are lifting the whole, as we cultivate the peace that is within us, the peace that is our true nature, this love that is our true nature, this oneness that is our true nature, that all around us are moved and shifted. And so I just know and declare that there is a shift happening right now by the power of this word. It's happening within each of us. It's happening with us collectively in our country, and it's happening in the world. I know that love is coming forth, peace is coming forth, understanding is coming forth, and the way forward is made. The way is made forward where there appears to be no way right now, but I know that Spirit knows what it is doing, and that a new experience of love and peace and understanding is happening in the world right now. This is what I say yes to on all of our behalf. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful to know that peace, love, understanding just surround the entire planet. I'm grateful to know that there is peace within the heart of each person and that they are realizing that now. And I'm grateful to know that God's got all of this. This prayer is fulfilled. And together we say, and
And
so
so it
it is.
is.
Amen.
Amen. Beautiful. Reverend Aimee Jackson Daniels, what a pleasure to
Thank you,
speak with
Suzanne.
you.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Oh, good. It was my absolute joy. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
And that's it for my 3-part conversation with the luminous Rev Aimee Daniels. To learn more about Rev Aimee and Cityside Center for Spiritual Living in Chicago, including classes, services, events, and spiritual community offerings, visit their website and social channels. Links are in the show notes. Thank you ever so much to Rev Aimee for sharing her amazing wisdom and spirit with us. And if this conversation resonated with you, I'd love it if you subscribed, shared the episode, left a review, or sent it to someone who's trying to stay spiritually grounded while also being a regular person. As always, this has been the Spiritual Shitshow podcast. My name is Suzanne Soul. Thank you very, 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 very much for listening, and I will see you on the next one. Roll it, you delightful bundle of starlight, you.